Dear colleagues, thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to speak at this webinar at the World Statistics Day. The program that has been put together looks very interesting, and I'm sorry I can't join live due to the time differences. I will be speaking about innovative approaches to meet the COVID-19 data challenges from a perspective of the UN Statistics Division. My name is Vibeke Nielsen, and I'm an interregional advisor at the UN Statistics Division. So, as many of you know, the COVID-19 data challenges are quite substantial. We see that many countries, more urgently than ever before, need to track the pandemic. They need to plan and monitor emergency response efforts, and they need to inform medium and long-term mitigation and recovery strategies. At the same time, the statistical operations are seriously disrupted. We have office closures, there's poor connectivity in some countries, and we also in many countries have seen that there is a disruption of face-to-face data collection. Therefore, there is a strong need for new initiatives and for repurposing the existing efforts. The UN Statistics Division's vision for innovation is to harness the data revolution to ensure that necessary data are available to policy and decision makers and to the public at large. This we do through promoting innovation in the national statistical systems, of course jointly with many of you. And what is very important to us is to put the NSO at the center, giving them and supporting NSOs in the role they have as data stewards, coordinating and validating data from different sources. We also want to help facilitate partnerships with other data providers, and it's very important to us to ensure adherence to the fundamental principles of official statistics. And a key element of that is to ensure data quality and also to adopt open data principles. We also promote data interoperability tools and principles. And as you can see here on the screen, there are quite a few guidelines and recommendations that can be used in this context. Some of our main responses to the COVID-19 data challenges is that we, together with the World Bank, have been conducting and still are conducting a survey on how the pandemic is disrupting the statistical operations. I will be coming back to some of the key findings of this shortly. We also wanted to support the sharing of knowledge between different actors, both international and regional agencies and various actors that work with statistics in countries. So we have set up a UNSD COVID-19 response website. In addition, we also want to help make data open and interoperable, and for that we established a UNSD COVID-19 data hub, where also different countries, including your own, can upload your data so that it's more available to the global community. Another aspect of peer-to-peer learning is the new collaborative that we have established on the use of administrative data sources for statistical purposes. And we have also been refocusing global events, like for instance the 3rd UN World Data Forum, which is happening just these days, and a number of webinar series linked to it, which are free and available to all who want to join. We have also been refocusing some of our projects and some of the expert groups that are linked to the UN Statistical Commission. Some of the projects that I have been involved in and that I will be speaking more specifically about is UNSD FCDO project on SDG monitoring, a Data for Now project, the Intersecretariat Working Group on Household Surveys, and also the Global Network of Institutes for Statistical Training. But first, let me share some of the main findings from the UNSD and World Bank survey that was conducted and still is in its 3rd round without the results being ready for the 3rd round yet. We see that the pandemic greatly has impacted statistical operations. For instance, you can see in the first overview here that a lot of statistics data collection that was carried out face-to-face was stopped fully. Back in May, a majority of countries had stopped it fully. while in July, some countries had again started operations, at least partially. Most of the countries do not know when they will be able to resume face-to-face interviews in full. So, and those that are able to say so believe that there is still some time until that is possible. At the same time, a lot of countries have adapted quickly to the challenges that have been raised by COVID-19. We can, for instance, see that a lot of countries have altered their surveys because of the pandemic. And what they have, for instance, introduced is to change the data collection mode into telephone or web-based interviews, or to add COVID-19 related questions. Another network that I wanted to mention is the Global Network of Institutes for Statistical Training. It aims at facilitating collaboration among members of the network in the delivery of trainings on statistics in a more harmonized and standardized manner. One of the things that we have been focusing on in the last months is also to make more online trainings available and also to make materials available overall. For that, you can visit the homepage of the Global Network, but you can also visit a new statistics hub that has been established for materials and trainings that are available, where different agencies can share their information. It's called UNSDG Learn, and it has a subpage on statistics, which I will be sharing shortly. I also wanted to mention in this context that we are very grateful for having Morocco as one of the members of the Stakeholder Advisory Group, which is providing input on the work of the Global Network of Institutes for Statistical Training, and that is, as I said, much appreciated. The Intersecretariat Working Group has also been adjusting to provide more guidance on COVID-19, as we know that a lot of survey activities have been disrupted and need to change the approaches. Here are some links to some of the materials that different members of the Intersecretariat Working Group on Household Surveys have put together. It's, for instance, on how you can coordinate better, how you can maintain continuity of regular survey programs related to COVID-19, etc. Last but not least, it's as always important to communicate data, and we believe that national reporting and dissemination platforms are key. That is true both for the general ones, but also for the more specific ones, as the one you saw for Ghana on COVID-19, or others that are maybe more specifically focused, for instance, on the SDGs. That's important so that data are used to the fullest extent possible in improving the people's lives, that it's really been being picked up by policymakers and decision makers. And it also helps us in monitoring the progress so that we can take action to achieve the Sustainable Development Goals. We also want to support and guide in the work overall with storytelling and modern data visualizations. And we think that is an important part of the work moving forward. So with that, I want to thank you again for having me. And I also want to wish you all a great World Statistics Day. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.